Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Slate, a Korean action comedy drama from 2020. Yeon-hee always dreamed of becoming a movie action star. Though she possesses amazing sword skills, her ultimate goal always seems just out of reach. One day, she's hired as a stand-in, or a stunt person, for an action star and goes onto the set only to be transported to a chaotic alternate reality where people wield swords and slay each other without any sense of retribution. When she rescues some villagers, she's immediately praised and welcomed as the protector of the village. But now, she faces a never-ending onslaught of villains that put her martial arts skills to the ultimate test. Can she meet the challenge? So Slate is one of those action movies that seems to be modestly budgeted. I suspect that it might be an indie film, actually. The production values and overall quality are good, but the limited locations and settings are what kind of give away the lower budget. That's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, because it does have a charm to it. So for example, like this alternate dimension that our protagonist is transported to, it's like an oddly interesting mix of modern and historical elements. So people fight with like swords and other bladed weapons in a village setting, but they're all wearing 21st century clothing. And it's portrayed as taking place on like a movie set that's made to look like an old village, but the people are actually fighting for their lives on this movie set. It's quite different. It's quite a different mix of elements there, but I found it to be rather neat. Very difficult to comprehend how the society works within this alternate dimension. You almost need to assume that the village is literally the only thing that exists in this odd parallel world. Try not to think too hard about that stuff, because there might be some plot holes that emerge if you think too hard. This is one of those movies you just have to kind of go with it. Set designs are pretty effective. They blend old school village and modern lighting together, which makes sense given the premise. There are some nice splashes of color at times, especially during the night scenes. You can tell the filmmakers put some effort into this, made the most with what they had in terms of the budget, but I just want to point out the budget so that you should not go into this expecting a movie that has lots of like locations and ambitious effects and stuff like that. Our main character has a pretty nice backstory. The film opens in an orphanage where she was a little girl, and she says to her counselor she wants to be a heroine. And then we immediately cut to 20 years later where she's trying to get work as an action star. Now, the lead actress, Yeon-hee, very likable. There are a few effectively humorous moments, like early on in the film, gives her some color, and she's developed fairly well, too. She does have a few problems, some flaws, I would even say, because she just refuses to be a stunt double or a stunt woman. Just refuses, flat out. So you got to sign me as like the lead action star, and she won't like work up the ladder in the film industry to kind of earn that position. And she insists on only taking lead action roles, which she has failed to achieve at this point. And that stubbornness is kind of preventing her from getting any work whatsoever. But it's good. It's a good kind of character study type thing. The movie takes itself seriously enough. This isn't like a crazy, wacky comedy. It gets a little bit, maybe slightly wacky at times, but, characters do die in this, and there's one fairly creepy scene involving black magic deception that I liked. And what we end up here with this film is like a nice mix of genre elements that infuse some humor and drama in with the action. And speaking of the action, I do think that it's actually pretty good. Sword fights are effective. You do have to wait till like the 30-minute mark for the first like sword fight, and it's fairly short, but it's shot well enough. There's a one-on-one fight against a schoolgirl with pigtails, because, let's be honest, that's always welcome in films like this. And it is a step above the first fight, so you could see kind of the action design getting a little better as it moves along. And two of the better fights are saved for like the final 20 minutes. And I think it finishes pretty strong, actually. The lead actress can move pretty well. I'm not sure if she was stunt doubled, but if she was in the film, I didn't notice. So they did a good job of hiding it if she was stunt doubled. So that's good. So there's some good stuff in this. It's just The action in this is not going to blow you away, but it's good. Pacing is a little bit on the deliberate side. Like, in terms of quantity of action, there's enough to classify it as an action film, but it's not, like, action-packed. But as a total package, I think that Slate is an enjoyable film. Like I said, it's not going to wow you or anything like that, but it's just, there's something about this. I found it very easy to sit through. It was fun. It was charming. You know, and I think I'll probably watch this again in the future. I think I will. It's kind of a neat little genre bender with an indie vibe to it, and it's currently available on Region A Blu-ray. I do recommend this. And as always, I will see you next time.